at Greg's house because his 2.5 Rabbit broke down. So let's see what's going on. Got his 1.8 big turbo Jetta right there, you know, and the stock daily Rabbit, the most reliable car that he's ever owned. And of course, 2 weeks into owning it, clutch issues. Let's go take a look.
Years of back pain and morning stiffness.
6 doctors.
4 different diagnoses.
Until ankylosing.
Did you change the porno real quick? Is that what happened when you heard me come down the street?
Back down now.
Watch me.
Watch me.
Watch me.
People are fighting back with
Well, let's check it out. Ooh, keyless entry. You know, that's how we do. Volkswagen. I know, it's all technology. So, I don't have a flash. Clutch is completely in op. Just dangling. Huh. Just dangling. That's weird. Oh, I do have a light. Check this out. Yep. I think it's something with the assembly right there, but let's check under the hood as well. Can't see much. From here, the slave cylinder actually looks like it's intact. It's not broken off of the bolts. You can see it right there. Black slave cylinder going left to right. Mounting bolts are intact. Let's see if I can get a real deep view over here. Let's check in the cabin. Okay, so clutch pedal's just dangling, which is really weird. I never got up in here like this before. Okay. I can see the rod pushing into the firewall. I got a feeling that this guy just totally broke. So he bought the car from the guy, and so the clutch would operate, but once you disengage the clutch, or engage it rather, it would come up to like here, and there'd be this free play, but it would stop here, and you could use the clutch, and then it would kind of come back on its own free will, because it didn't have this spring in there. So the guy included this. So I guess we'll see if we can get it up in there. It's my first time having to go with this, so yeah, here we go. Oh boy, this is tough. So we need to find how to get this guy up in here. And I think it has to go above this black rod, because there's like a black nipple up there. Right there, it looks like it goes in the end of this one, but I don't know, I haven't messed with this before, so going in blind. See what we find. All right, so digging into this, what I found was that the clutch rod, the push rod that goes into the clutch master, actually did break. It's hard to see, but it broke in half, so we'll have to replace that. And while we're at it, I was gonna put the spring up in here that was missing, so we'll have to resume this another day, but this will all be fixed real soon. So that's the diagnosis. The push rod here on the back of the pedal. This is the clutch pedal assembly. This rod right here broke at the tip. the other part's up in there. So once we get that replaced and put it back together with the spring installed, it'll be like new. So here's how you get to the master cylinder for the clutch. It's on the firewall behind the battery, so you gotta move the battery tray, the wiring, the harness right here that goes over the transmission mount, and of course all the intake, get it all out of the way. And here is the new clutch master cylinder. 1K0721-388 Alpha Charlie. This is for a 07 Rabbit Mark V 5-speed manual, obviously. So let's see if I can get it out of here and show you what broke on it and go from there. All right, got the new master cylinder in there. Electrical connector hooked up. The connector tab did break, which is pretty common. So I went ahead and kind of put a zip tie around it. It might be hard to see, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's not going anywhere. Hard line hooked up, gravity feed line hooked up. So we're gonna top it off with brake fluid, bleed the clutch after we put the pedal assembly together, which is next. All right, moment of truth. We skipped a lot of stuff. It was a pain in the ass, but it's all buttoned up. Let's see what happens. I think Greg needs some motor mounts. The other day, complaining about clutch issues on his Mark V Rabbit, and it turned out to be the master cylinder. His description was like, clutch went all the way to the floor, which could be a few things, and it wouldn't come back up. What he didn't say that it was dangling, completely freely dangling. Now when he bought this car, he was told by the previous owner that there's this large spring that goes above the clutch master cylinder behind the clutch pedal. It was not there, but he included it. He's like, you just need to swap it in there and it's good to go. You put it up in there, you compress it and release it. It wasn't quite that easy, but anyway, while I swapped out his master cylinder, I went ahead and put that spring in as well. That made the job a million times harder. Swapping the master cylinder out by itself, super easy. There is a Volkswagen specific tool you use to go behind the pedal, pull back, and it releases the rod from the pedal itself. And then once you do that, you pull the pedal out off of the rod and clip. Everything else is under the hood, and that is super easy. You know, removing the battery tray, the whole intake system, undoing the electrical connector, the gravity feed line, the hard line to the clutch slave, and then you just grab it, you twist it to the left, and you pull it out. Super easy. But messing with that spring and the clutch pedal assembly was a nightmare. Like trying to lay in there upside down in this small confined area. You know, hanging out with a spider. Made a friend as a spider while I was working on it, and getting the spring to sit where it needed to without falling out, all the while being aligned a certain way so that the nipple on the back of the clutch pedal could go inside of it how it needs to, and lining up the bolt to get the pedal back in place because I had to take it completely off, all the while not breaking the new master cylinder rod. To make things worse, the white clip that holds onto the end of the clutch master cylinder rod that goes into the pedal, it broke in half. So I had to super glue it together, which didn't really work, didn't really stay together, but I got it to stay together just enough to push the pedal onto it and clip. So it took like 3 hours to do it all, which if I didn't have to deal with the spring and the broken clip, a normal master cylinder job on that car would have taken like an hour or less. So anyway, yeah, that's essentially how you swap the master cylinder out. Real easy job if you don't have to deal with the extra crap. So if your pedal just goes down to the floor, no pressure at all, and it's dangling freely there, well, if it's dangling there, you don't have the spring in place. But if you do have the spring in place, it's going to shoot down to the floor, which means the master cylinder rod snapped. But the same thing can happen when your slave cylinder breaks. On the 5-speed manual, the slave cylinder bolts to the side of the transmission on the top with 2 bolts, and the mounting point of the slave cylinder usually breaks off at those bolts, and that'll have the same effect. Clutch pedal just shoots to the ground. In my experience, no fluid leaked with the broken master or the broken slave. The slave cylinder, genuine OEM, was like $147, and the OEM master cylinder was like with his employee discount was like $118, I think. So they're really not that expensive. You might as well get the genuine OEM ones, you know, and make sure it's all put together right, so you don't have to deal with it for a very long time. So that's it. One more thing, visit Greg's YouTube channel. It's Boosted Euros Garage, and I'm gonna put a link to his YouTube channel in my description for this video, so you can actually check it out, and make sure to subscribe to his channel and turn on the notifications. He makes videos more often than I do, and they're pretty decent quality. They're not always 2.5 specific. He's more of a 1.8 turbo, a little bit of VR6, and now that he has the Rabbit, I'm sure a little bit of 2.5 will be in there as well. So visit his channel, check it out, and enjoy.